Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got an absolutely fantastic show today. This month is Women History Month, but it's also a Nutrition Month. So we're going to talk a whole lot about nutrition today, and we're going to talk about some of the things that we might want to consider doing on how we can maintain a healthy body, physical, mental, emotionally, and lifestyle. So I'll tell you what, I want to bring the radio portion in first, and we're gonna get this thing started. So, hey Todd, man, it's a Nutrition Month, so let's get this thing started.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the James Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and to overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And we got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. We're going to talk nutrition. We're going to talk health. We're going to talk everything. So I want everybody to grab you about 5 or 6 bags of popcorn. Get ready because Dr. Julie is going to bring it again today. But before we even get started, I got to always bring in my executive producer and co-host, the young lady that make everything happen. How are you doing, Dr. Cooley?
Hi, I'm doing fine. I'm excited about the show today. Dr. Julie, she's been on a show multiple times, and we love the information that she presents to the audience. She educates us and she motivates us and inspires us, and to really kind of look and realize what we've been eating. And it may taste good because I think our bodies go for the taste, honestly. But I also am a believer that you can you can eat foods and drink beverages that are still good for you, and they still have a great taste to it. So it's not like you're giving up anything, but I'll let Dr. Julie talk about it.
Yeah, Dr. Julie, she's a wealth of knowledge, not just from the nutritional side, but she's also a chiropractor as well. So, I mean, hey, she do it all. Regardless of where you're listening, whether you listen to on the radio, you can call in 1-866-577-2473 if you watch it on television, or whichever mechanism, over 25 plus other streaming networks. If you want to be part of the conversation, go to the comments and ask this great doctor any question that you like. Michelle, I cannot wait to get this fantastic guest on the show right now. So can you go ahead on and tell our viewers and our listeners the title, the purpose, and identify this absolutely fantastic guest?
Yes. So again, the title of the show is March is National Nutrition Month. And we're going to talk about, the topic at hand. And we're getting to know nutritional and health educator and one of the nation's top chiropractic physicians, Dr. Julie Gatza. And we're talking about the absolutely worst foods for your health and digestion, and some of the making informed food choices and developing healthful eating and physical activity habits, and discuss alternative dietary choices. So let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Julie. She's a co-founder of the Florida Wellness Institute, health educator. Dr. Julie is one of the nation's top chiropractic physicians with more than 30 years of clinical practice, during which she assisted many thousands of patients to resolve a wide variety of physical ailments. Using her understanding of the nervous system, nutrition, alternative therapies, Dr. Gatza's mission with each patient is to enhance their body's potential to heal itself. I love that. So let's welcome back to the show one of our favorite guests, Dr. Julie Gatza.
Thank you, guys. Nice to see you both.
It's nice having you back, Doc. We need some education, especially when it comes to knowing the right foods to eat and things that we might want to avoid. And so I think we need all of those things. So it's so wonderful having you back on the show.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back. You know, something happened. Hey, can you tell you and our listeners where you at in the world and just tell them a little bit about you?
Sure. So I live in Clearwater, Florida. I grew up in the Midwest Chicago area and opened to practice. I was a chiropractor. And at the time, we thought we could heal everything. And keep in mind, when you're a chiropractor, you elect to be a doctor that does not use any drugs or surgery to treat problems. We can refer that out, but we can't use it. So we get to kick open a lot of doors. And because of that, you start to find out a lot of different natural ways that really can improve people's health. And what we found was the key component was digestion. And once we learned that after we had graduated, when you correct somebody's digestive system and you really get them to be working the way that it's supposed to, and you can actually absorb nutrition, this is how you can give people back their health. This is how you can get people to repair their health. This is how you can get a fine-tuned athlete to be even better. So it's key to everything is to fix somebody's digestion.
Dr. Cooley, you're on mute. But that's okay. So, Dr. Julie, can you kind of talk about what exactly is nutrition and National Nutrition Month? I mean, how did this all get started? Do you know the history of it? Dr. Julie, you can't hear? Okay, I think you might be on mute.
No, she's not on mute.
Okay.
You know, she's not on mute. She might have to log off and come back in. Can you hear me, Michelle?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, so it's at her end, and but we're gonna get her to log off and come back in, and we're gonna talk about some of the things that nutrition does for their patients, and also educational counseling. You know, so if we can get her to log off and come back in, it'd be that's probably what we need to do.
I'm sending her a message right now. Yeah.
You know, but Michelle, it's I think you and I, we try to eat half the more so to you than myself, because you don't eat anything after 7 o'clock, and lately you haven't been eating any meat, but and always doing the shakes and stuff. Can you tell our viewers a little bit why you do that?
Well, I do that basically, it's basically intermittent fasting. And one of the things about intermittent fasting, from what I read, can you hear us, Dr. Julie? Okay, let me send a message to Dr. Julie first, James, and then I will tell you about why I do what I do.
Yeah, but intermittent fasting, and you've been doing
intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is basically fasting a certain time. There's a certain window that you eat. There's a certain window that you don't eat. And the most important thing from what I've read is that, if you want to it's not about eating bad foods and then fasting for all those hours. You have to eat, really healthy foods. And the fasting period gives your body a time to break down, nutrients and be good with the digestive system. Dr. Julie, can you hear us?
I can. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened.
No, that's okay. So we're going to go back to Dr. Julie now. So Dr. Julie, March is National Nutrition Month. Can you tell us how this all got started? Do you know the history of it?
I don't know the history of it. Once I saw it, I capitalized on it, though, with myself and my patients. So, what I find is people make a lot of resolutions in January, and February comes around, and by the time March hits, they're really probably more serious to follow it than they were in January. Spring's coming. They want to sort of shed the holiday weight, have more energy. So I think it's an appropriate month to start nutrition, because I think that everything's out of our system at this point, and we can really roll up our sleeves and get down to business.
Well, let's get down to business now. The digestive system. What organs are involved with the digestive system? Because people think, oh, it's just your stomach. But I'm sure there's a lot of organs involved in that.
Well, it starts from the mouth and ends at the exit, and everything in between. You've got in the mouth, the teeth and the tongue, which help to salivate, and you've got enzymes that are being released. You swallow it, it goes down to the esophagus, goes into the stomach, where stomach acid is breaking down the food. You have digestive enzymes that should be added to the food so that you can actually break that down. And then the nutrition goes in the small holes in the small intestine and goes into the bloodstream. So the way we get nutrition into our body, the way we live and breathe and have energy and get up every day, is the ability to break down our food and absorb it in the small intestine. When we aren't breaking down our food properly, when we're eating the wrong foods, when we've overloaded our system, at this point, the intestine becomes inflamed. Those holes get larger than they should. Now, not only do you have the nutrients going into the bloodstream, but you also have undigested food. You have toxins, you can have feces. You have all sorts of things that now the blood actually says, oh boy, this is too much. Your immune system recognizes this. And one of the things that happens with people is the immune system is constantly on overload because the digestive system isn't working properly. So it's constantly attacking what's in the bloodstream. This is how autoimmune disorders also start. And this is how they also end. We fix the digestion.
So we know the digestive system internally, from what you described, there's a lot of things, and you're going to talk about a little bit more in depth. But externally, like looking at a person, does it affect how they look as well?
Absolutely. I can't tell you how different my patients look when I get their digestive system working. And it can usually happen within a week, 2 weeks, a month. But circles under the eyes go away. The bags go away. Their eyes look more alive. Their face looks more alive. We're talking people in their 80s actually look so much younger when we fix their digestive system. What also happens is they lose their belly, pooch and bloat. Their joints don't ache as much. Their skin looks better. They have more energy. They sleep better. I mean, the list goes on because digestion is the key to everything. That once we can repair that, the rest of the body starts to really come alive and flourish the way it's supposed to.
Wow. We're going to take a station break, but when we come back, we're going to pick it up from here. And I don't know where that static is coming from, but we're going to take a station break, and we'll be back shortly with a lot more of Dr. G. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Hi, I'm Todd Pierick, the producer of The James Cooley Show. It's Your Life.
Get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, the Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build the foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do.
Now on TuneIn.com and Odyssey.com.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James Cooley is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh, I got you. It wasn't on mute. It was happening again. So I'm back.
Okay.
But today we're going to talk about the digestive system and things that we need to put in our body and that we should probably avoid. So let's start off with that. What are some of the best food and nutrition that the body should have almost every day?
The best food that I've seen that people eat some, but I don't think that they make it their priority is protein. And, we have gotten to be a society that, wakes up, has a cup of coffee, has some carbohydrate, bagel or croissant or a piece of toast, carries on, maybe eats some lunch, maybe more coffee, maybe a little bit of chocolate. And we do this to our kids. Protein filled. It's not vegetable rich. It's not fruit rich. It has a lot of packaged things and canned things and things in pouches and fruit drinks it's just not protein rich, and then vegetables next. So I find that anybody that is sickly, anyone that wants their health back, and anyone that wants to keep their health, you have to eat your eggs and meat and chicken and fish and even steak all throughout the day. And 3 times a day, if you do this, you're going to have your health back. You're going to be less hungry and less craving for the carbohydrates.
Doc, why is sometimes just eating an unhealthy meal? Sometimes people eat just like Michelle talked about. It's the taste of the food, but it also have you uncomfortable for hours and hours to come, and maybe a gas.
Well, I think that we're here in this country, and we've allowed our food to be more altered than it should be. So our grains aren't the same. We aren't breaking them down. We aren't making the enzymes in our bodies to be able to digest this food because things have been altered enough. And, then we have all the fast foods and everything convenient. I mean, the fact is that kids at 7th grade can go and eat pretty much anything that we could have on a holiday, any Tuesday of the week, says something about the fact that we've really allowed every choice to be okay. And, part of it is we just aren't educating our kids. We aren't educating each other. There's no commercials that says, hey, it's not okay to be bloated. What are you eating? What are you eating? Say this.
Wow. So, Doc, what are some of the long-term effects of not eating a healthy diet, and from a digestive perspective?
Well, I have been concentrating for many years on people with high blood sugar and diabetics. And before they became diabetic, they had, ups and downs with foods throughout the day. So they were, hypoglycemic and things like this. I see arthritic problems, gas, bloating, indigestion, heartburn, acid reflux, constipation, diarrhea. All these things are not normal. They are very common, but they aren't normal. And once you educate somebody that it's not normal to have these things, now they can actually take a look and say, oh, you know what? I had this yesterday. I wonder what I ate. And they start to actually pare down, what does their diet really look like? Because I hear a lot of people come in that say they're having, really good diets. And by the time I'm done really quizzing them, their diets are fair, but they're not really that great, which is why they're not in such, decent shape.
So what are some of the recommendations that you would suggest that they look into?
So I've, for 31 years of doctoring, I have given a lot of supplementation, from multivitamins to very specific for each person's health needs. But one of the things that I find that pretty much across the board everyone needs, and I use constantly, is high quality digestive enzymes. I use one called Absorbaid, and the reason being is it's a vegan formula, and it has the ability to break down the proteins. It has things in it to break down the fats. We need fats to fight pain and inflammation. We need fats to build our hormones. We need fats to actually make our skin nice. It has enzymes to break down carbohydrates and even dairy products. When you take Absorbaid on an empty stomach, it can actually break down inflammation, toxins, poisons, bacteria, viruses. So it's so key to have these enzymes in the body. And since we aren't making enough of them to break down our not so great foods, this is the major thing that I have my patients go on. And, you know, they all come back going, oh my goodness, this is a lifesaver. It really makes a difference. I feel better. You even lose weight when you start breaking down your food and getting your metabolism kicked in the way it's supposed to.
Doc, let's talk about some of the worst food that we probably need to just, push back on. I know when I was in school and growing up, we talked about the 4 basic food groups, and then I think it went to 5. So let's start with the dairy products first.
With the dairy products, did you say? I think dairy is hard on people. We don't make the enzymes to break down the calcium. And to break down the actual milk to get the calcium from it. It's laden with calcium, and the calves have that enzyme. The cool thing about that Absorbaid is it does help you break down the dairy products, but, we're feeding our kids a heck of a lot of dairy, and, they're getting all sorts of different symptoms because of it. So I find that dairy, very minimal, is better for the system. And if you do it, hard cheeses are easier to break down because of the process that it took to make it into a hard cheese as compared to something like American cheese or, some easy cheese in a squeeze bottle or something.
So you send cheese and what about milk and other stuff as related to that?
So, we eat a lot of things from packages, boxes, and cans. And we often use the microwave as a quick fix for, we don't want to spend the extra few minutes. And I find that, microwaving the food really does change the quality and the nutritional value of that food. For instance, my daughter did a science experiment years ago, and she took a bean and put it in a paper towel. And she did that twice and watered one bean with regular water and the other one with microwaved water. The regular water one sprouted within 2 to 3 days, got green, grew tall. The microwave one, it did sprout, but it was yellow and sickly. And all she had was the microwave water for it. So the nutrition was taken out of the water because of that. So now we take microwave popcorn and even heating up our leftovers, and we might have spent a lot of money making a lovely, wonderful, healthy dinner, and then you microwave it, and that's not so great for the body, and it's certainly not high in nutrition.
Why is it? I guess the world, if everybody depends on the microwave now, then the normal way of when we were cooking, and you're right, I believe the microwave kind of destroyed the nutrition in a lot of the food.
It sure did, and it really does take 2 to 3 to 4 more minutes to do it on the stove, or there's quick fixes to doing it. We grew up that way. And, the fact is this microwave thing is just so odd. I haven't had one in 26 years. And, I don't miss it. I don't think about it. And, when I moved into this new place, there was a place for the microwave. I was like, that's out, brought it out to the garage and put it on the curb.
You said, so you've been without a microwave for quite some time.
Yeah.
Most people probably wouldn't be able to survive, Doc.
It's true.
So, hey, Doc, is it true that people need a certain amount of their dairy to maintain a healthy, system?
Did you just ask if you need a certain amount of dairy to maintain health?
No, calcium products.
Well, you can get calcium from so many different foods. I'm not, the expert on all of them because I have a wide variety, and of food itself, but the green leafy vegetables, there's almonds, there's a lot of different foods that have calcium. Now, I am also not a fan of somebody not eating any, only being vegan in this country. I find it very hard that people are trying to follow that diet. In other countries, they've got it dialed in. They're soaking the beans and they're soaking the legumes overnight, and they've got this huge variety of foods to choose from. And so, I do find in this, at least in this country, we're better off eating protein, having lots of vegetables. Steamed is my preferred way for people to have them. I think it's easier on their cell wall to break them down and get the nutrients from there. So, as far as dairy goes, fine if you want to put a little dairy in your diet, but I am not a proponent. I've taken so many people off of milk products over the years and seen asthma change, skin changes, so many different, things, sinuses and chronic earaches and things like this when we took them off the dairy. And it's probably because it's also been altered. It's pasteurized. It's, changed cows and changed milk, that it's not the same that when our grandparents, were raised on it.
Wow, I tell you, we're gonna have to take a station break, but we're gonna come back, we're gonna pick it up, and we're gonna continue to go. So if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to your comments and become part of the conversation. Or you can call in at 1-866-577-2473. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity.
Streaming now on the Answer San Diego app and Odyssey.com.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James Cooley is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, we are learning a whole lot here. Michelle, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we're talking about grains right now. And so, Michelle, you got it. But anyway, I don't think Michelle can hear us. So, hey, Julie, grains or some of these GMO modified?
Yes, I think most of them are here. And, I sat and listened to a speaker a couple of months ago that basically said not to eat any of the grains in this country because all of them are altered at some level. And, I sat and listened, and not that I'm going to turn around and do that perfectly, but it did make me rethink this. Myself and many people have said they've traveled overseas and eaten all the things that they usually don't have here. And myself, I was in Italy and France, and I ate every pasta and pizza and bagel and croissant and all the things that I don't eat here. And I came home skinnier with no inflammation. I didn't feel poorly. And it's because they have a lot tighter regimen on how they're allowed to grow their food. And, we've gone haywire here. So we have a lot of altered grains, a lot of altered seeds. I don't know if we even have seeds that are, from the time when our grandparents were planting wheat and barley and millet and things like this.
So we've been taught that nuts is a vital part of us getting protein. What are your thoughts on the different type of nuts and all the different type of grains that help enhance
Well, I think nuts in general are the best for us when they're whole and raw and unaltered. That is the nut that has the most nutrition to it. It's not been toasted and roasted and salted and everything else. And when I'm trying to get somebody healthy, I take them off of all nuts because it's too hard on the digestive system. They are packed with a lot of protein. They are a wonderful nutrient-rich food, but not when we're opening it in a jar that's been honey roasted and, with the sriracha on it and tons of salt and pepper and, put in deep oil and fried. So, if you want to have whole raw almonds, whole raw cashews, the best way to actually prepare it is to put it overnight in a bowl of water and let it soak. It releases its own natural enzymes. So it's easier for us to digest and utilize the nutrition from the nuts. And then you dump out the water in the morning, rinse them off, and you'll find they're snappier. They don't get caught in your teeth. You're full faster with them. And I used to send them all the time with my child to school. And I'd often get parents back saying, "What did you do to those nuts? My kids loved them." And, so we had a lot of whole raw nuts in the house.
Wow, I'm going to try that. But Dr. Julie, let's talk about tea, coffee, and carbonated drinks.
Are you sure you want to go there?
Well, that's fine because I am not hooked on either. I mean, I do like tea. I like my decaf tea or decaf coffee once in a blue moon. But it seems like with carbonated drinks, there's a myth out there that 0-calorie sodas or no calorie sodas is good for you. And I've always believed it is not. And so tell us about why it's not good for you with the carbonated drinks. And let's talk about decaf coffee or tea or caffeine coffee and tea. What is the difference? Does it even make a difference?
No, it makes no difference. I'll make it very simple for you. Coffee, tea, soda pop, carbonation all change how you actually absorb. You're supposed to have an acidic digestive system when you drink coffee, tea, pop, and carbonation. What it does is it changes it over to a basic system. It's like putting a piece of steak in a glass of soapy water and expecting change in the morning. It's going to look like a piece of steak in a glass of soapy water. But if you put that piece of steak in a glass of vinegar, you're going to have a gross slurry of all sorts of things in that water. That is how your digestive system should be working. So when you can't absorb properly and you've alkalized or you've changed that system to basic, you are missing lots of minerals because the body can't get them in. People who drink coffee, tea, and pop have a lot of shoulder and neck problems where their shoulders are always up around their ears. They're hard to adjust for me. They suffer with headaches and carpal tunnel and all these different things that are stemming from the neck itself. And I find this pretty much across the board. So if you want to drink herbal teas, peppermint, dandelion, ginger, turmeric, there are a host of so many teas. I had gone, I was fortunate to go to the Middle East, and I went to this tea place. Oh my goodness. I walked away with so many teas, so many flavors. Not one of them had caffeine in them. It wasn't from black tea. And I was astounded at how many choices. And I thought, oh, it's just a choice. I like coffee. I can't drink coffee. I tell you guys not to. I know what it does. But the fact is, I have this host of teas. It's sort of a little ritual. And I thought, oh, it's a ritual that we get used to. And when I traveled to the Middle East and I saw that it's their ritual, I thought, oh, okay, I can change that and make it my ritual. So I'm trying to get my patients to do the same. And, they all said, it's just I need something warm and something to do in the morning. So that's what you should do.
But what's interesting? With the teas, you're right. It's a ritual. It's all in the mind. If you want something hot, just boil some hot water and add some lemon in it.
Right. Right.
But let's talk about fried foods. Oh my gosh. So I'm not really heavily into fried foods, but I remember I didn't eat fried foods for a while. And then I had some fried shrimp. After I ate it, while I was eating it, it was good. Afterwards, I felt like, ugh.
Right.
And I looked at it, I was like, fried foods is you're really just eating oil.
Yeah.
And that's not good for you. So can you tell us why fried foods are not good?
Well, if they're high in unsaturated fats, so we're, deep frying things. And it's just asking a lot of our digestive system to, be able to fry up anything, put it on the plate. Of course it tastes good. And then you got the sauces and all the different things that you're going to dip it in. So it's high in salt, high in the fats. It's, greasy and hard to break down. And you're asking a lot of your system to actually be able to break that down. This is where we need our digestive enzymes working at the highest level, because all that fat, we make bile in the gallbladder in the liver, and it's stored in the gallbladder. So at that point, your gallbladder says, whoa, high fat coming in. We need to secrete bile and break it down. Well, a lot of our digestive systems are working less than par. So, when we're eating fried foods, and sometimes not thinking about the fact that, yes, French fries are in that same thing. So is that fried fish sandwich and the chicken sandwich that, seems healthier than the hamburger. So the fact is, it's just too much for our systems. We'd be better to have, things that are baked, broiled, grilled, and, it's easier for us to break them down.
Wow. Doc, you asking a lot of giving up everything, fried foods, fish sandwiches, chicken.
I know, I do. But here's the deal. People don't come to me and say, wow, I'm so healthy, I want to keep myself that way. I have rarely seen a patient in 31 years say that to me. But they do come in and said, I'm frustrated, I'm hurting, I've spent lots of money, I've been taking these medications, I've had these surgeries, you're my last choice. I know I'm their last choice. And when they do come to me, I am not shy about at least giving them the information that I've seen that works so often that, I'm like, well, how interested are you in improving your health? Because if you're a 10, we're going to get along great. But if you're less than a 10, this is going to be a tough program for you, and you're going to be disappointed because I want you better more than you do. So, they come to me last, but I have the hard path, and it's not a long path. It takes a very short period of time to really get the body to start minding itself, because you're doing the right things for it.
And you're absolutely right. And we have to start being cognitive of all of those things, so we can make sure we get the right food, right nutrition, and etc. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back because we got a lot more. And if you want to be part of the conversation, that's 1-866-577-2473, or go to your comments wherever you're watching this at, and just ask this great doctor any question you like. Remember, it's your life. We'll be back shortly after the break. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, just having so much fun with this education that we're having here. And I believe that we just lost a doc for a quick second. So, hey, Todd, how are you doing out there? Are you learning anything?
Kind of some of the things that I know already, but it's just, the importance of putting your health first. I know a lot of us get busy and we kind of put it on the back burner, but I am learning a lot of things. I'm taking notes, and it's just good to just keep this at the forefront of your mind.
Yeah, we have to, man. And I think we need to start taking better care of ourselves. And I'm guilty of that myself, because I don't always eat right. And sometimes I get this just taste for a burger or something. And it's just a burger or whatever that might mean. And then I binged out, and I know when I get that taste for a burger, if I'm eat a burger at a fast food, it's going to be Wendy's, and then I got to get the chili to go with that. And a doctor, I'm sorry, I told on myself,
I do the same. But the fact is, life, there's so many things out here to experience. There are so many foods to taste. It's just most of the time people aren't being mindful most days of the week. So if you want to, follow it through the week and then go a little wild on the weekends, heck, that's going to be really great for your body 5 days. But you do want to give it a break. You don't want to eat something poorly and then eat well one day, and then the next day eat poorly, and the next. You want to give your body just, 5-6 days where it can actually recover, and then go ahead and do what you want to it. If you feel too lousy, you probably won't do it again. But if you can, manage to get through it, great. Most of us do and can, and look forward to the next sort of cheat day. And, the whole aspect is to get your digestive system working well, be able to break down the good food, be able to break down the bad food so you handle the toxins as well. That digestive enzyme absorbed that I was talking about, I have a lot of patients that don't want to listen to anything that I have to say. Okay, I get that. So make sure you're taking this quality digestive enzyme so that you can push the toxins out and get the nutrients from the things that you are eating.
Yeah, let's talk about citric fruits and stuff like that. And what's the value of making sure that you get the right intake and it kind of balances the system? Can we talk about that a little bit?
You're talking citrus, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it's fine if you're adding it to your food. Lemon is very helpful in aiding with the digestive system and helping out with detoxification of the liver. Lime is used in lots of different countries. So these are all helpful in aids of digestion. But the fact is, when we're buying a carton of orange juice and pouring a glass of it, when those oranges were picked 6 months ago and shaken up and whatever the heck it is, by the time it gets to your table, it doesn't have the nutrition left. It's just simply juice of an orange that's now all sugared. So if you want to juice your own, that would be perfect and the way to actually drink it. I love citrus. I think it's helpful in so many ways to a meal and, addition to. But it's just, drinking a whole bunch in one sitting, unless you fresh squeezed it, is not my recommendation.
What would you recommend for, say, a person that's borderline diabetic or diabetic, and should they eat fruit or oranges and lemons, or what's your recommendation for that?
Very, very little to begin. What they're lacking is nutrients. So we want to give them heavy protein. We want to give them steamed green vegetables. We want to take out their carbohydrates, including, not too much rice and things like this. Knock out their toast and their pancakes and their waffles and their sandwiches and pizzas and pastas. Those aren't going to help their situation. And you can certainly have a little bit of fruit, but, the neat thing with a diabetic is when you start to get them on the right path, they get to measure their sugar every day. I would say it's the most honest disease I've ever treated, because they get to see how well they're doing daily. And, they'd come in and their sugars are coming down, 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 and they're feeling great. And then they'll eat. One guy had a problem with strawberries. Every time he ate it, his sugars would shoot right up. Well, the next day he'd say, wow, my sugars are so high. What did you eat? I ate a lot of strawberries. Okay. So, it's when you clean up the scene, you can see what things will affect you and what won't. But if you start with the heavy protein, water, vegetables, knocking out the coffee, the tea, the carbonation, that's just the start for pretty much everybody that I ever treat. And from there, we add or subtract what needs to be, done.
What about apples and stuff like that?
Apples and pears, peaches, berries. Those are the better of the fruits for you. Bananas aren't so great while we're trying to correct things. Grapes aren't so great for you as well. And so if you stick with the apples, pears, peaches, and berries, those are the kind that you can actually break down. Pineapple is also helpful in aiding with digestion. There's bromelain in pineapple, and that helps to break down the protein. So that's why it's put with ham and different types of meats, because it's an addition to the digestion each meal.
So a lot of people are on this thing, artificial sugars, sweeteners, and etc. Hey, Doc, can you tell our listeners, our viewers, the real skinny on that? Is artificial sugars the same pretty much as regular sugar?
No, what happens is if you actually have anything that's artificial, just run from it. You should be, sorry, somebody's ringing my door. So run from the artificial sweeteners. What you want is the fruit sweeteners. You want the honeys and things like that. I'd much rather have somebody have cane sugar than have, the sweet and low and things like that on the table. So, there's a lot of different ways. I'm a huge fan of local honey. It helps with the immune system. It helps the local guys who are building the hives and things like this. And, that's the best one that I would recommend.
Wow. Let's talk about beans. Is that good for your system? And also spicy foods.
So beans are hard to break down because they have a coating on them that we do not digest very well. So the enzyme system, but let me go handle that. I'm so sorry.
Okay. But yeah, beans they are kind of hard to digest, but when it comes to, and I'm kind of guilty of the spicy food, especially chilies, and the spicy stuff, chilies. It's good, and many times I've been told that chili peppers, bell peppers, all this is pretty good. Doc, what are your thoughts on that?
As far as peppers go, the hot is fine for a little bit of seasoning, but I do believe that a lot of people overdo it. So if it burns your tongue, it's burning the inside of your digestive system and your esophagus. So you do want to chill out. Now, peppers also aid in circulation, so they help digestion that way. But we're talking, a little is good, a lot, don't eat a whole bunch of, that. I do find that people, even nowadays, are starting to have a lot more arthritic problems. And I do see that it goes into the family of nightshades. And that includes tomatoes and the pepper family, eggplant, tobacco, and potatoes. So I've seen a lot of my arthritic patients, when we take them off that type of food, their swelling goes down and their joints feel a lot better, and they start to really handle, they just improve tremendously. So it goes back and forth for me when I, hear about peppers and hot, spicy foods.
So is there any value in processed food? Is there any nutritional value in that?
No. I mean, not really. There's probably some out there that are okay, but as soon as you hear that, that they've done cut corners and they've done different things to make it so that it lasts long in that, package of cheese. I mean, heck, how long can you have American cheese sitting in the bottom of your crisper? I mean, heck, I've seen it over a year old and open it up and I'm like, wow, it's exactly the same as when I bought it. And any other cheese in there won't stay that long. So, processed means we cut corners so it lasts longer on the shelf. And if you're looking at that, if you're just trying to satisfy taste buds and, shut the kid up for the moment, I understand it's necessary on occasion, but, we really do need to start spending the extra 15, 20 minutes in the kitchen. It's not that much longer to make good food, and teach our kids and, the picky ones, get them to make a menu and get them involved. I don't care if they're 3 years old, give them a dull knife and tell them to cut something. And, get them the stool and get them up there washing things and planning a meal. And, your surly teenager, tell him one night a week, he's got to cook a meal that's healthy for the family. And you're going to start to generate some interest as compared to, the mom cooking and doing this, or the dad, whichever, and then putting it in front of the kid who turns his nose up at it because they didn't participate at all. They're just, being surly. So, participate. You'll see that it starts to change your viewpoint.
Wow, Doc, we're down to the last minute and a half of the show. What is some takeaways that you want our viewers and our listeners to get from this great discussion?
Well, I mentioned that digestive enzyme absorbed, and if anyone's interested in finding out more information, seeing what different forms it comes in, they should go to the website, which is naturesources.com. People give it to their elderly, their kids, even their dogs. And keep in mind, it simply helps you break down your meal so you get more nutrition every time that you eat. And if they're interested, they can call the 1-800 number. They can use the code RADIO, and they can ask for some free samples or 20% off their first order. And that phone number is 1-800-827-7656. And if you're interested, I've got an Instagram that you can follow. That's Dr. Julie Healthy Vibes. I give tips here and there and keep everyone a bit honest.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate the samples that you guys had sent me and Michelle a while back. It's,
good.
Extremely helpful. So Dr. Julie, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on the James Cooley Show. It's your life. You can come on anytime you want to.
Thank you. I love being on your guys' show.
So I tell you what, thanks so much for doing this. I'd like to thank my great producer, Michelle Cooley, for always putting together a great show. I'd like to thank my producer, Todd, a pirate at the radio station, for always just coming through, just making sure that we're right. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our listeners and our viewers for taking time to watch the James Cooley Show. It's your life every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same place. I want everybody to dream big, think big, and be big. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
Straight out of my head. Guess we all